Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings, so not everything is going to resonate with everyone, and that's just fine. And don't forget to use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Whenever the Wheel of Fortune shows up, it basically says things are about to get better, whether they've been challenging or whether they're already good. It basically says that whatever it is, this is a change in your luck and it's a swing towards even more positive blessings for you. I often say to people, this card sees you in the right place at the right time, and it tends to be the result of the hard efforts that you've put out into the world. This is where you get the rewards. How big, how wonderful, how abundant those blessings are basically in proportion to the work, the energy or the effort that you've already put in. But I love this card, and one of the, I can't remember who it was, but I remember reading one of the books on tarot, and the line that they spoke that really spoke to me was, whenever you see this card show up, it suggests a change in your luck, and 9 times out of 10 people will come to you for a reading when things are challenging. So this card is always a good positive omen because it shows you how things are about to change. So your foundation, before we get into that, if you are a continued subby, I love you for it, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. So your foundation for the spread is the Strength card. This is beautiful, right? This is having the courage and the strength. So this week, have the courage, have the strength to go after whatever is presented to you. If this is an opportunity that shapes up for you, that could be amazing for you, but you think, wow, okay, you know what, I'm not sure, this is quite big, I don't know if I've got the smarts, I don't know if I've got the energy for it, I don't know if I've got the guts for it. You absolutely do. You have all the heart and the gusto that you need to make this happen. The fact that you have the Strength card as well as your foundation, this is about digging into more of who you are and revealing that to the world in some way, shape or form. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Fool card. New things, places, people and energy. The fact that you've got this with the Wheel of Fortune means in a lot of ways you are looking for new experiences. Like this week, you're looking in new directions. You're thinking about taking on new directions that maybe you haven't, or maybe you've only dreamed of before. This could be new things opening up for you. It could literally see you in the right place at the right time. This is, if ever there were a time to allow yourself to be steered by the universe, this would be it. When you have hunches show up this week, oh, you know what, maybe I'm going to take a different way home today. Absolutely follow it, because you might bump into somebody that could literally change your life. The thing about this, these two cards as a pairing, it always suggests some big surprise that's coming your way that is likely to change your life. Usually the Fool card kind of slips under the radar, and it's like you only look back and then you're like, oh, okay, that really, changed or altered my path. But this, you will know straight away what it is. Like you will know the value of what you're being offered when you are offered it. It's kind of like that, the saying, if you give a pig a diamond, it can't eat it, so it'll just chuck it in the mud because it doesn't, doesn't care about any of that. This will be one of those moments where you realize that you're being handed some sort of gold. This could be a great week for you, Libra. For your communications and conversations, you got the 7 of Cups. Okay, so this is right underneath the Wheel of Fortune. The first thing that I want to say to you is, just because many opportunities make themselves known to you doesn't mean that you have to take them all. This week you might get sort of not confused, but kind of like, you just see stars and it's like, I want all of it. Unfortunately, we can't have all things at all times. So this would be a time for you to be selective. This week you might be going through a process of, sorry, I've got that itchy nose thing that's literally just kicked in. You might be going through that, sometimes you go through a process of deliberation where you're like, okay, I've got all these things that I can do. I need to home in on what I actually will do, right? So this is about really getting clear on what you're going to put your time, effort and energy into. And I think this week it's going to be really important to be that clear on the paths that you are taking. When it comes to, I mean, you know, and speak to friends, speak to your people about what it is that you want. The reason I say this is because that Fool card in your actions and options is going to make you really optimistic. And I feel that you've totally got reason to be optimistic, but you might be overly optimistic about everything. Like, no, that's fine. I can do all of this and, you know, have the baby on the hip and single-handedly save the world at the time. It's not a problem. We've got to be realistic, right? So this is about making the most of the opportunities that you know you're really going to be able to do something with. For those of you that work for somebody else, this week, don't overextend yourself, all right? Don't be overly available, and more importantly, don't allow yourself to be you'll definitely be able to help. There are some really good opportunities on the horizon for you, right? This week, I think a lot of things are going to open up for you, but that Seven of Cups is asking you to be really sure about what you put into, what you buy into. When it comes to your business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, again, just because, like, finish the projects that you have on now before you take on a new one. Or if you can put a contingency plan in place and say, look, there might be a delay on the time that I can deliver this, but I'm happy to take it on board if you're happy to wait a little longer. That would be a really good use of communication this week, just so that you don't overpromise on the time frame that you can deliver something, which allows you to do all of the things in your midst, right? Which I think would probably be a really good use of your energy. When it comes to those of you that are retired or no longer working, the Seven of Cups is slightly different here. And the reason I say this is because this is going to see you really homing in, like on an emotional level. You're really observing something and it looks like you're going through it. The Wheel of Fortune says that will lighten up for you, but the Seven of Cups, you're going to have to really be very conscious of your emotions and your emotional energy this week, especially with the Fool card there, because it might make you a little bit erratic. All right, so, well, the cards don't make us erratic. This, you know, we're reading the energy and the emotion of the situation, but just be aware that that's floating around. For your money and materials, you've got the Knight of Swords. This is right underneath the Fool card. You could be tempted to overspend this week. Now, the beauty is the money that you need is absolutely there, and money could be good this week, but it could also be that you're overspending, right? You're being a bit foolish and a bit haphazard, or a bit too overly enthusiastic with the finances. So this week you just want to be aware that the tendency to overspend might be around. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is asking you to slow down, right? Especially when driving, especially if running and or doing things with your physical person. So whether this is, jogging, running, gym, like, take your time with everything, because the Knight of Swords can be sometimes it's too fast, it's too hasty, so just be aware of that. When it comes to your home and environment, to be honest with you, it doesn't look like a lot of you will be spending a lot of time at home. And if you are spending time at home, it looks like you're going to be so busy that sometimes when you're so busy that you don't have a time to tidy up your place. This might happen and you might feel it this week, because I know, like, Librans like a clean and clear space, and I can totally sympathize with that. But sometimes you have so much to do, and this week kind of feels like that. This is why I say you've got to be mindful of this Seven of Cups. For your love and relations, you've got the Six of Swords. All right, so for those of you that are partnered, married, in long-term relationships, this suggests an easier time of it. It suggests that, the relationship is improving, that it's getting easier, that some challenge that the relationship or you guys have had with each other is starting to ease up, which I think is really nice. It is the Six of Swords for a select few of you. Maybe this week you and your partner are having to spend time alone because one of you is needing to travel. If that is the case, the travel will come up very suddenly. For those of you that are single and looking, or maybe open to a relationship, The Six of Swords basically says that this week you will be looking at where you've been unlucky in love, and more importantly, why. And with that newfound understanding, you're going to be forming the idea of what the next partner actually looks like to you. And I think that's a really good space to be in, because then you start to manifest the kind of person that you really want. So your full moon message is the Gate 29 and perseverance, right? So you've got to consider where the hard effort and the hard work that you're... It's interesting because I think Aries got this card as well. You have to consider where your hard efforts are maybe not necessarily in vain, but where they can be adjusted. And also where maybe you need to put more juice into something. The other thing with this as a perseverance card, the hummingbird, that's what's on the thingy, the hummingbird is very sure about what it does. It's an energy of precision. And so this week, how do you get precise? Well, you streamline what you're doing. Adding more and more and more is not the answer this week. Streamlining the focus and or the workload is what's going to get you ahead. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.